Yeah, see, if I put it right in my mouth, I'm breathing. Here. That sucks. I should breathe through my nose, huh? All right, we'll work it out. All right, I stopped at basic VV. I need to do this. Let me learn how to do this. F15. That's what we're doing today. Oh, I forgot to do the clickable cockpit mod. Clickable cockpit lets you learn to interpret the radar warning receiver and how to use it. I'm going to be key binding mostly. And yeah, figuring out how to make this eagle work.
Welcome to the training flight on the radar warning receiver and countermeasure systems of the F-15C. The F-15C's Tactical Electronic Warfare System, or TEWS, is a powerful built-in system that provides electronic detection and identification of surface and airborne radar threats, as well as active radar jamming. The mission is currently paused. Press the spacebar to continue.
I can't wait for that.
The first component of the TEWS we'll cover is the RWR. This system passively detects when the aircraft is being illuminated by other radars and presents this information to you in the TEWS display at the top right of the instrument panel, highlighted. This is a useful system because, unlike your radar, it allows you to detect threats without alerting them to your presence. Also, unlike your radar, it provides 360 degrees of coverage. The TEWS presents a top-down view of the area around you. You're in the center with your nose pointing towards the top. Symbols on the TEWS display indicate the direction and signal strength, not range, of contacts. The TEWS display also classifies contacts by type and status. Known airborne and ground radar types are identified by different codes. See the manual for a list of codes. A hat symbol above the code means it's an airborne radar. For example, 15 without a hat means an SA-15 SAM radar, but a 15 with a hat means an F-15. The highest threat contact is inscribed by a diamond. A semicircle is added above the most recent contact. A flashing semicircle or circle is added to a contact that is supporting a missile launch. Active radar missiles, which are missiles that have their own radar instead of relying on the launch aircrafts, are identified by the letter M inscribed by a circle. Press the spacebar to continue.
Oh, shit.
The RWR will alert you of only radar-guided threats. It won't detect missiles with infrared guidance. You'll need to spot those visually. Also, if you're far from a threat, you might get an RWR indication before they actually see you on their radar. By the same token, though, when you're searching for targets with your radar, they might see you on their RWR before you see them on your radar. Press the spacebar to continue.
Man, this is so cool.
Your RWR can't detect radars at elevations more than 45 degrees above or below you. So, for example, if you bank away from a threat and they disappear from your RWR, it doesn't mean they are no longer tracking you. They may just be in your blind spot. Although the twos can identify the type of radar illuminating you, it cannot tell whether the source is friendly or hostile. Now I'll try utilizing the twos against some actual threat contacts. When you press the spacebar, I'll unpause the mission. Autopilot is on. Adjust the throttle to about 81% RPM to maintain a speed of about 250 knots. A series of 3 high-pitched audio tones indicates a new threat has been detected. This contact is a ground-based EWR station identified on the two's display as S. Being illuminated by a ground radar is referred to as a mud spike. On the two's display, the semicircle above the contact means that it's the most recent contact, and the diamond means it's the highest priority threat. An intermittent chirp tone means that your RWR is detecting a radar in search mode, but you are not being locked on. You can change your RWR mode to show only locked radars. Try this now by pressing Right-Shift-R.
Alright, I'm also going to be key binding again. Some of this stuff I already got key bind. Some of it I don't. Right shift R is what? Alright, I need a button to do that. Right shift R. I really don't have a good plan the way I'm doing this, to be honest with you.
The contact is no longer shown since it was only in search mode. Switch back to showing all contacts by pressing Right-Shift-R again.
You know what else needs to happen? I need to do a little something with this. Axis tune. Maybe put a little curvature in there. I know a 10 really doesn't do much, but that's what I'm starting with. Let's do a little dead zone. A little dead zone. If I do 10 or 5, I don't know what I did. Save it. Go see, save it. Out there every time.
We now have an additional contact. A MiG-31 is inbound from the southwest at beyond visual range, identified on the two's display as a 31 with a hat. The semicircle and diamond indications have switched to this contact to indicate it's the most recent and highest priority threat. The faster chirping sound means that the RWR has detected a threat locking onto you. Also, the AI airborne intercept warning light at the top of your instrument panel is now on, indicating you are currently being illuminated by an aircraft radar, which could be friendly or hostile. Being illuminated by an airborne radar is referred to as a spike. Continue flying straight ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna continue flying straight ahead. I have no weapons, so.
The MiG-31 has now launched a radar-guided missile against you. Your two's display will indicate this by a flashing circle around the 31, and an audio launch warning will sound.
I'm assuming I'm immortal here. Oh, there
I've
it is
disabled
right
the
there.
MiG. Our next contact will be a SA-15 SAM system at close range. Monitor the RWR indications and note that the SAM warning light at the top of the instrument panel will illuminate, indicating your
definitely
RWR
disabled the
is
hell out of
detecting
him.
a SAM radar.
He killed him. Next one it says if it sits in close range, monitor the note that the SAM warning light at the top of the instrument panel will illuminate. Okay, I see that.
I've disabled the SA-15. Next, we'll talk about another useful component of the TOOS, the ALQ-135 Internal Electronic Countermeasures, or ECM system. This system attempts to jam other radars and prevent them from tracking and locking onto you. However, it also broadcasts your presence to everyone, so you should keep it turned off if you're trying to maintain an element of surprise. To toggle the operation of your ECM, press E. Do this now.
Okay, I'm gonna have to program that. ECM. I'm just gonna make that one of these buttons on the throttle. Oh, it's already there, but I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. So guess what? We're gonna clear it. I'm just making a illumination cockpit. Okay. Let's go change that to something else. Okay, and let's go ECM. 'Cause I want it right there where I can just smash it. Save and save it. I don't know why this thing is bouncing like this. Alright,
Notice the blinking X at the center of your TOOS display. This indicates the ECM is warming up, which takes about 10 seconds. Once your ECM is operational, the X will become solid. The last component of the TOOS we'll cover is expendable countermeasures in the form of chaff and flares.
oh, I don't
These
have
are released
that.
from the aircraft to attempt to lure away radar and infrared guided missiles.
Oh, yes, I do.
respectively. Press the spacebar to continue.
I got that.
Your remaining chaff and flare quantities are indicated at the top right of your MPCD, which is located on the left of your instrument panel. Chaff is useful when a missile is at your 3 or 9 o'clock. In this situation, the relative speed of the missile to you and your chaff is similar, confusing the missile. If the missile is ahead of or behind you, though, the missile will not have much trouble discerning you from your slower chaff. When chaff is released, the word chaff will light up in your countermeasures dispenser lights located to the right of the TOOS display. You can release a single bundle of chaff by pressing Insert. Do this now.
Do what? You're gonna sing with chair by pressing insert.
If you spot a missile launch with no corresponding RWR warning, there's a good chance it's an infrared guided missile. Try to get the missile coming towards your flight path at a perpendicular angle and dispense flares. When flares are dispensed, the word flare will light up in your countermeasures dispenser lights. If you see the word minimum light up there, it means you're getting low on chaff and or flares. Release a pair of flares now by pressing delete.
Ooh, I don't have that one. Could have sworn I had that. I don't. Alright, that's chaff, so I didn't program it. Every time you make a change, save it. And then you want to save it in multiple places.
You can release chaff and flares simultaneously by pressing Q. You can also set your TOOS to continuously dispense both chaff and flares. This is useful when you're evading an incoming missile but are too concentrated on other tasks, such as getting into a firing position while performing evasive maneuvers, to be distracted by manually dispensing chaff or flares. Activate continuous countermeasure dispense mode by pressing left shift Q now.
How the hell am I going to do that? Shit. Oh, man. Okay.
You can monitor the release of chaff and flares by watching the countermeasures dispenser lights illuminate. Press left shift Q again to deactivate continue. Although in this lesson we flew straight and level towards hostile contacts, that is obviously not the best course of action in battle. Your first line of defense should always be good mission intelligence and threat avoidance. Study the route and target area prior to the flight and plan to avoid all known threats as much as possible, both horizontally and vertically. When engaged, you may be able to simply turn and run the other way if the shooter is at relatively long range. At close range, your best bet will be to make good use of the twos to actively counteract threats, plus defensive maneuvering. In general, this means putting an incoming missile at your 3 or 9 o'clock, diving towards the ground, and making a high G turn as the missile closes in to try to break the missile's seeker lock or simply exhaust its energy potential to keep up with the turn. This concludes the training lesson of the countermeasure system of the F15C. You can press the escape key on the keyboard to exit the mission.
Over G.
You can fly the Viper and then fly this. Because you just do what I just did. Not without causing a problem. Okay, what did I set up for the twos? Shit, I don't even remember now. It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Over G.
Shit, wait a minute. I might as well. Oh, I planted that sucker inside a tree. Oh, shit. Bro. Bro. I planted that sucker inside a tree. Alright. Alright. I don't remember what I set up, so. Oh my goodness. Deployment. I'm not ready to do that. Instrument landing, visual navigation, autopilot, and view management. Cold start. I don't know if you can cold start this. Angle of attack and G's. I planted that sucker in a tree. Call me a tree hunter. He said clip that. I got the HP back running.
In this lesson, we'll discuss angle of
Holy
attack
shit.
and G's and how to read their current values on the HUD. The mission is currently paused. Press the spacebar to continue.
Yeah, I got the HP G2 back up and running.
The G loading is the total force the aircraft's wings are generating. 1 G is equal to the weight of the aircraft, so in straight and level flight, you will be at 1 G. When you pull back on the stick, your G loading will increase. The bottom left numbers in your HUD, currently reading 10 and 90, are your current and max G in tenths. That is, you're currently at 1.0 G, and your max G is currently 9.0.
Okay.
If you exceed your max G, you risk damaging your aircraft structure, since your wings will be producing higher loads than they were designed for. As you get close to your
Definitely
max G,
gonna do
a warning
that.
tone will sound, and an over G voice wording will be heard when exceeding the max G. If you spend too long at high Gs, or at negative Gs, you will pass out for a few seconds, which can be deadly in a dogfight. Press the spacebar to continue. The airplane is able to make more or less Gs by increasing or decreasing its angle of attack, which is the angle that the airplane meets the air. When you pull back on the stick, you are not only increasing Gs, but also increasing your angle of attack. Your current angle of attack is indicated on a vertical scale on the left side of the HUD, just to the right of the airspeed scale.
I can barely see
However,
the damn
wings will only
HUD.
work well up to a certain angle of attack. Above that, they will lose effectiveness. This is called stall. As you approach stall, the aircraft will begin shaking, and when you stall, a beep beep tone will be heard. You should avoid stalling, since your plane will be more effective at everything below stall. So if you pull back on the stick and hear that warning tone, don't pull back so hard. Press the spacebar to continue. The faster your airspeed is, the less angle of attack is required for a certain G. At lower speeds, you will not be able to pull your max G. You'll stall before you get there. At very low speeds, you will not be able to maintain 1 G and will stall just attempting level flight. This can happen, for example, if you slow down too much when coming into land. If you find yourself in this situation, you should apply max throttle and push the stick forward until you are no longer stalling. Press the spacebar to continue. First, I'll have you try a high G turn at higher speed. Push the throttle to full afterburner now. When I unpause the lesson, roll to a 90-degree bank and pull back sharply on the stick until you get to about 8 Gs. Your current G indicator on the HUD will increase from 10 to 80. Watch how your G and angle of attack change as you pull back. Press the spacebar and I'll unpause the lesson.
Unpause it, sir. Let's do this.
As soon as you get above 8 Gs, return the stick to neutral and roll level. Return to level flight at 15,000 feet and 300 knots. Remember, altitude is displayed on the right of the HUD and speed is on the left.
I'm on getting out. There we go. 7.5, 7.7, 8. Okay, I did it.
Over G, over G, over G.
Left flight, 2,000 feet and 300 knots. Okay. Ooh, wow. That deceleration is wild. This thing doesn't slow down that damn fast. Does it? It's a 450 climbing too. 12,000, 12,005. I need a seat adjust in this thing. All right, 15,000.
Next, we'll try something similar but at 300 knots. At this speed, we'll stall before reaching 8 Gs. From level flight, you'll pull the stick all the way back until you hear the beep beep stall warning tone. Watch your Gs and angle of attack as you do this. As soon as you hear the stall warning tone, return the stick to neutral, increase throttle, and then level out at 16,000 feet. Go ahead and try this now.
Okay. Okay. 15,000. I heard the beep, 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 beep. You want me to do it again, sir, or what?
This concludes this lesson. You can keep flying or press escape to end the lesson.
Man, keep flying. I ain't got no weapons. This got an air-to-ground mode. This is the C model. I gotta get that clickable cockpit. You can keep flying and press escape. I want to do some more training. That's not what I want to get. Okay, switch. Alright, what we got here? Angle of attack. That was pretty easy. Basic BBR tactics. Okay, let's try this. Intercept practice mission. I want to do that too. Alright, this lesson will cover just the basics of approaching BBR engagement, including communications with AWACS and wingmen. Focus will be on engaging defensive targets like other fighters. But much will be applicable to defensive, such as bomber. Okay, turn on your radar. I don't remember shit I just learned. That's okay though. That's okay. If you're not sitting in the cockpit, it's centered to me.
Welcome to the BVR Tactics training lesson. Head towards waypoint 1 at about 25,000 feet and 350 knots. You can use your autopilot if you want. Air-to-air combat is a complex topic with lots of considerations and possible tactics. In this lesson, we'll cover...
You got autopilot? Where's autopilot at? It does have autopilot. This thing got a lot more than, see we got altitude hold. Alright, so shit, I'm gonna get a autopilot altitude hold. Bam. And I need this disengage. Bam. And autopilot attitude hold. Save. Always save your profile. Nothing worse than playing, getting all excited, make all these changes, exit the game and don't save shit. And I've been there and done that many times. So yeah, I save like a maniac. And then I'm gonna go back up the files. Autopilot disengage. You know what? I didn't do waypoints. Oh, I did do waypoints. Okay.
Just the basics of approaching a BVR engagement against other fighters, but much of it will also apply to engagements with defensive targets like bombers or transports. In this mission, we're flying a combat air patrol, or CAP, near the Russian border. In a combat air patrol, you'll be flying back and forth along a specific route, in this case between waypoints 0 and 1, and engaging threatening bandits, enemy aircraft.
Ooh, I got a wingman.
Press the spacebar to continue. Once we start our engagement, things will happen fast, so first I'll outline what we'll be doing. There'll be 2 bandits. When you're able to see them on your radar, you'll target one and tell your wingman, engage my target. Then you'll untarget that bandit and target the other to engage yourself. When you're within max missile range, you'll fire 1 missile. This will have a low probability of hitting, but will put your target on the defensive. Then, if your target is still alive when your range closes to RTR, you'll fire another. Alright, when you're ready to start, press I to turn your radar on, and press 2 to exit navigation, ADI, master mode, and enter air-to-air master mode. Since you don't know how far away any bandits might be yet, set your radar display range to its max setting of 160 miles. The minus and equals keys adjust your display range. Then press the spacebar to continue.
That is. You see how fast that went? Do what now? Just then press the spacebar to continue.
When flying CAP, you'll generally want to command your flight to line abreast formation. This spreads all of you out along a horizontal line, increasing the search volume of your radars. Open the communication menu by pressing \.
Hold on. This damn chair is just sitting here, bouncing. I don't understand why it's doing that. Why? Why are you just sitting here bouncing? Oh, this engine haptic shit is on. I don't want that. Turn that off. I gotta save it. That's what it is. Yeah, I don't like that. That is not a good feeling. I feel like I'm sitting in a truck. Okay. Alright, what are we doing? Open the comms menu.
Press F1 to choose commands to your flight.
F1.
Next, press F9 to choose formation commands, and then press F2 to select line abreast.
Line
Press the
abreast.
spacebar once you've got confirmation from your wingman.
Woo, beautiful. Damn, look at that boy. He gonna get some. Confirmation from your wingman.
If radar stations are present, you can communicate with them to get information on bogies, contacts of unknown identity. These radar stations can be in the form of airborne warning and control
AWACS.
systems, or AWACS, such as an E2 or E3, or a ground-based radar called an early warning radar, or EWR. Today
Need
you've
to
got an
speed up.
E3 AWACS, call sign Overlord. You can radio the AWACS from your communication menu as needed. When an AWACS or EWR picks up a new bogey, they'll give you its BRA, bearing from you, range from you, altitude, and aspect relative to you. You can also request this information about the closest bogey by requesting a bogey dope via radio by pressing left win O. Press the spacebar to continue. Continue towards waypoint 1.
You know what? I didn't do the navigation thing, but I'm assuming that's waypoint 1 right there. I'm at 160.
Your AWACS just detected bandits. Time to engage. When engaging an enemy in BVR, you want as much speed and altitude as possible to give your missiles longer range. When you launch missiles from higher altitude, your missiles are basically going downhill towards your target. Also, the air is thinner at higher altitudes, meaning less drag on your missiles. And the faster you're going towards your target when you launch a missile, the more of a boost you'll be giving the missile on its way. First, push the throttle all the way to afterburner. Next, to decrease your weight and drag, jettison your external fuel tanks by pressing left Alt R now.
Oh shit. Okay. Bruh. I'm gonna have to program this.
Alright, let's do this. Turn away from waypoint 1 and turn towards the target on the bearing the AWACS gave you. If you forgot, press left win O to request a bogey dope. When you're on the right heading, press the spacebar.
Overlord 1-1. In field 1. Request bogey dope. Enfield 1. Overlord 1-1.
Hey man. AWACS.
Overlord 1-1. In field 1. Request picture. Enfield 1. Overlord 1-1. Picture single group at spools 357 for 160 at 28,000.
357. Was that bullseye he gave me though? I think that was bullseye that he gave me. Let's see, AWACS.
Overlord 1-1. In field 1. Request bogey dope. Enfield 1. Overlord 1-1. Bra 003
for 90.
at 28,000 hot.
28,000 hot. I'm looking from what? That's 0 to 59. I don't see shit. What happened to my wing? Bro, I know you didn't leave me already. Damn, where's he at? He said for 90. I'm looking at 160, 003. Right here, and press the I gotta press the space bar.
Next, pull up into a climb, but don't go so steep that your speed falls below Mach 0.9. Remember, Mach is shown in the bottom left of the HUD above your G loading. Level off at about 40,000 feet. Climb high enough that you're not producing contrails. You can tell by looking back at your wingmen once they're at the same altitude as you. Adjust your radar settings to make finding the bandits easier. Because your AWACS told you the bogies are hot, cycle your radar PRF by pressing right shift I until you get to high PRF, which has the best performance against hot aspects. Don't forget to change your PRF again if the target aspect changes though, or else you'll have trouble finding them then. Press the spacebar to continue.
They said 40,000? Where can I lock them though?
Locate the bogies on your radar, but don't lock them up yet. You may need to adjust the zoom or the antenna elevation to match their range and altitude. If they're still far away, you may not detect them yet. You may need to keep adjusting antenna elevation as the distance closes, or if altitudes change. Once you start to see the bogies on your RWR or radar, try to keep a mental picture of their locations and altitude, as well as your wingman's. This will be invaluable if you lose them on your radar. Once you see the bogies on your radar, switch to TWS mode so you can get more information on them by pressing right Alt-I. Your wingman won't engage targets unless fired upon, or unless you command him to. You are facing two bogies, so you can ask your wingman to take one and you can handle the other. Select one as your PDT, then command your wingman to engage it by pressing left when Q.
2, roger. 2, contact bearing 001.60. 2, spike,
Low.
12 o'clock.
And what am I using? 120C? And is that 49 point something miles? Oh man, that's a long ass way. So continue to take the command in, command your wingman to engage it by pressing Q, okay. How many of these missiles do I have? Oh, I got a boatload of them. Oh yeah, I can waste 3 or 4 of them. Oh, that's supposed to be at 41,000, huh? Wait a minute, he said no contrails. Oh shit, we got plenty of contrails. I'm still fighting the autopilot.
Spike, 1 o'clock.
Yeah, shoot. Hey man, is that the one I got locked up? He ain't gonna shoot him, so. Where'd the other guy go? Oh, I think we hit him.
Tally Bandit, 2 o'clock.
Whoa. Oh, F15 doesn't have a HEMIX. Alright, wingman, engage whoever. Engage bandits.
Flight, engage bandits. 2, negative.
I know you lying. I know you lying. You gonna tell me negative? What the? Get off my team, bro. Flight, engage bandits.
Flight, engage bandits. 2, negative.
Oh, you full of shit, bro. Okay. Did I kill both of them? I don't think I killed both of them. Oh, I killed both of them. Well, that's what you get for being slow, sucker. I try to let you participate in the festivities. Alright, we killed both of them. don't get no medal for that. All right, practice intercept close combat radar and missiles. Let's try this one. We're gonna be using what, some aim 9s, VS and bore sight mode 3 and 4, lock and unlock targets. Okay, let's see how this works.
In this lesson, we'll learn how to use the AIM-9 Sidewinder short-range infrared guided air-to-air missile and your radar core and VS auto-acquisition modes, which are useful in close combat. The Sidewinder is fire and forget, meaning the launch aircraft doesn't need to maintain a lock after launching. The Sidewinder's infrared seeker locks onto hot elements of a target, typically the engines. Because of this, it's more effective when you're engaging a target from its rear than head-on. The Sidewinder can be decoyed by flares and is less effective against ground clutter. The Sidewinder can lock onto targets using just its own seeker or with the assistance of a radar lock. The F15 can carry up to 4 Sidewinders on its wing pylons. I currently have the lesson paused. To use the AIM-9's infrared seeker to lock onto targets, press 6. Do this now.
6. Okay, I don't think I pressed 6. Press 6, do this now. Alright, let me see if I got 6 programmed. I think I do. I do, but I don't know which one it is. That's change weapons. Air-to-air. Longitude. Yeah, I know I got that, but which one is it? It's on the joystick. Shit. Okay, it's the button to the right.
The growling sound means that your Sidewinder is actively looking for a target. Its seeker is currently caged, meaning that it is fixed straight ahead. The larger circle, or reticle, on the HUD indicates the field of view of the seeker. When a target is within the reticle and the seeker has enough thermal contrast from the background, the seeker tone will change to a higher pitch and the lock shoot lights on the canopy frame will illuminate, indicating the seeker is tracking the target. If the target strays outside the reticle, you will lose the lock. This mode is useful in locking onto specific targets in a tight group. You can switch between caged and uncaged by pressing 6. Do this now to uncage the seeker. The word scan is now boxed in the lower left of the MPCD, indicating the seeker is currently uncaged. The larger reticle on the HUD represents the missile's field of view, and the smaller one is where the seeker is currently looking as it scans around. When the missile seeker locks a target, the outer reticle will disappear and the smaller one will follow the target within the seeker's gimbal limits. A high-pitched lock tone will sound to indicate a lock. Detecting and locking a target with the missile seeker is a good way to surprise an enemy since, with your radars off, their RWR won't warn them of your presence. However, with only the missile's IR seeker, you don't have as much targeting information such as range, closure rate, etc., and your detection ranges are limited. To remedy this, you can use your radar, and the Sidewinder seeker will automatically be directed towards a locked radar target. Your radar has auto-acquisition modes which are handy for close combat situations. First, we'll look at vertical scan mode. Enter vertical scan mode by pressing 3 now.
Alright, let me make sure I got the right one. 3 I think is up. It is not. 3 is back.
When you enter an auto-acquisition mode, the radar will activate automatically. In vertical scan VS mode, instead of moving side to side, the radar now scans up and down from roughly straight ahead to 55 degrees above your nose. The width of the scan zone is 7.5 degrees. A vertical line is displayed on the HUD to help you align your target with the radar's field of view. In this mode, you will automatically lock onto the first target detected in this zone within 10 miles range. Vertical scan mode is handy during dogfights, since when you're pulling into a turn to place the nose on a bandit, the bandit will be above your nose. When you have a target locked, you can unlock a target and return to vertical scan by pressing enter. Next, enter bore sight mode by pressing 4. Bore sight, or, is similar to vertical scan mode, except the radar scans only a 4-degree cone straight ahead, indicated by the circle on the HUD. This mode is useful for quickly locking a specific target, for example, one aircraft in a formation, within visual range. Go ahead and press 6 to switch back to using the missile seeker alone for now. When you're ready, press the spacebar and I will unpause the mission. You now have 2 targets ahead of you. Let's shoot down just one of them for now. Fly to place the reticle over one of them until you hear the high-pitched lock tone. You can either launch an AIM-9 now by holding the weapon release button, right alt space, or initiate a self-track by uncaging the seeker by pressing 6 again. Once you're self-tracking, launch a missile. If your missile doesn't hit, try again with another. Nice hit. Now try using an auto acquisition radar mode to lock onto the second target, but don't fire yet. Press either 3 to enter vertical scan mode or 4 to enter boresight mode. Then fly to place a target in the radar field of view of your selected mode. As long as you're within 10 miles, the radar will automatically lock onto the target. Press the spacebar once you have a radar lock on the target. The large circle on the HUD is the allowable steering error ASE circle. Fly to keep the small steering dot inside the circle as close to the center as possible to maximize your missile's effectiveness. Remember that in SCT mode, the range to the target will be indicated on scales on the right sides of the HUD and VST, along with marks for the missile's maximum range, RTR, range turn and run, the max range against a maneuvering target, and minimum range. You also have a target designator box on the HUD indicating the line of sight to the target, along with a circle indicating the AIM-9 seeker's line of sight. When the target is between RTR and minimum range and the steering dot is in the ASE circle, the lock shoot lights on your canopy frame will illuminate and a triangle will appear under the target designator box, indicating a valid shot. Fire the missile by holding the weapon release button.
My boy is maneuvering.
Enfield 1, Overlord 1-1, Bra 03041 at 4,000 knots.
Let's play with him a little bit. Let's see how hard he's gonna maneuver. So if it's a negative number, that means he's pulling away from me.
Enfield 1, Overlord 1-1, pop-up group 05940 at 4,000 knots.
Good hit. This concludes this training lesson. I've activated 2 additional targets over the town of Sochi at waypoint 2 if you'd like to practice further, or press escape to end the lesson now.
Mode. Okay, I did not finish the navigation tutorial. So I did go to navigation mode. Right, where's it at? Yeah. But I don't know how to tell what's waypoint 2. Okay, I don't need to tell. Definitely need to adjust that.
Enfield 1, Overlord 1-1, Bra 277410 at 4,000 knots.
I said I gotta be within 10 miles. I am not. Oh wow, I got super slow. I know you'd hear if the air brake is out.
Enfield 1, Overlord 1-1, Bra 09740 at 4000 hot.
Nice job. You downed all the targets. You can press escape to end the mission now.
Let's see. This thing is super powerful. Like ridiculously powerful. Shit, that was close. This thing hauls ass. Wow.
Overgy, 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 overgy. Overgy, overgy, overgy.
Bingo fuel. Bingo fuel.
Yeah. Seat adjustment in the game. Damn, how did I get that far off? Ooh, this runway is super short. Not gonna be any landing on this. This is super short. Megan, you know you're gonna be on video. You gotta be kidding me. I don't have a break. Don't have a break. What did I do? Oh, I did the break backwards. Yeah, I think it's backwards. Yep. Axis. Oh, it is inverted. Maybe it's not backwards. Oh, it doesn't show. Yeah, it wasn't. Animation. Okay. We'd be cool with that. All right, that was fun. I had to do this one. Very, very interesting. When they come out with the full fidelity model, though, I think that's going to be a beast.